Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent Training. Welcome to our Word of the Day series, where I've been taking your requests for words you'd like help to pronounce in American English. Today's request was for the country name, which is spelled Qatar, and this viewer wanted to know how to pronounce this country name. But we're going to look at a variety of different ways to pronounce it because we have, in American English, we say country names differently than the home countries say those names. And even within that country, people may have different accents and different pronunciations for the sounds in the name of their country. So let's try to break down your options when trying to pronounce this word, and you can settle in on which one you want to choose for yourself. So first of all, the typical American way in the past to pronounce this country name was Qatar. That was with second syllable stress and a schwa in the first syllable, so Qatar. That is starting to be a less popular way to say it because people are working on getting closer to how it would be said in Arabic, which again has more than one pronunciation, so we'll talk about that in a moment. So American speakers, international speakers will probably recognize it if you say Qatar. Before I did my research on it, that's how I thought of the name of this country. That's how I learned it. That's not necessarily incorrect, but let's look at and explore some other options as well. So old way for American English, Qatar. New way, looking at something with more of first syllable stress like cutter or gutter. And I included the English words here as a way of remembering or thinking about that. The interesting thing is, if we say cutter or gutter, it's still, maybe it's a little closer to the Arabic, but still not exactly accurate. But you will also now hear Americans saying it this way. I also saw it written more like guitar with a G sound and second syllable stress. So in my research, listening to it being spoken in Arabic, what I heard was more typically first syllable stress or somewhat equal across the two. And then the first letter is in Arabic called qaf, and different Arabic speakers pronounce that differently. Some do it more like a g sound, some more like a qu sound, like the letter Q. And in this particular word, I heard gatar, I heard quatar, gatar, and guatar. So depending on, I would say going with fairly equal stress across the two is going to be safe because, Qatar or Qatar is so clearly different which syllable is stressed. And when I listened to Arabic speakers, it was harder for me to hear. I didn't hear a really strong gatar or gatar. I heard kind of equal across both. Gatar, gatar. Maybe first syllable stress a little bit more. Again, I don't speak Arabic, and so I'm listening with the bias or the filter of my American accent as I'm listening to that. What you'll notice in the Arabic pronunciation is that they will roll their R for one thing. So ar, ar. The letter A is going to be the same sound in both syllables. So not so much of a g, more of a ga, dar, same a sound, simple, straightforward Arabic a. And then the T, they don't use a burst of air in the middle, so they don't say ga, ta, ta, tar with a t sound like we. So that's where guitar doesn't really work very well. They use an unaspirated T, so it's not a D, it's not gadar, not a strong D, but gadar, kind of a T without the release of air. It's called unaspirated T. It's a little bit like a flap, gadar. So in that way, that's part of what I think why I hear it as being more first syllable stress, because that T sound in American English would have a strong burst of air if it were a stressed syllable. Again, if I'm talking in English with someone and I say I'm going to visit the country of Qatar, an English speaker might have no idea what I'm saying there. So I might go back to Qatar. I also might say it two ways. My close approximation is as far as I can get of Arabic versus the English so people can understand. You may end up also spelling, saying Qatar, the country Qatar, Qatar. I think it's trending and it's a good idea to learn the correct way that the country name is spoken in that country. But again, just like anything else, we say, the USA. In German, they say Die Vereinigten Staaten. We say France. They say La France. So you're not going to necessarily be true to Arabic or to what people in Qatar say or how they say it. And as I said, there's different varieties of pronunciation for, people from Arabic-speaking countries are going to pronounce this country name differently as well. So I think it's just useful to understand the different ways that you may hear it. Listen to the people you're speaking with. Try to say it that way. If you're talking to Americans, you might say Qatar. If you're trying to talk to someone from Qatar, you might listen to how they say it. Do your best to imitate the sounds and the patterns of their language. And, if I had the opportunity to travel there and talk to people and listen, I would probably be able to give you an even closer approximation of how they say it. So I apologize to my Arabic speaking listeners if I'm doing very poorly on this country name. But that's the information that I wanted to share in terms of what I found when researching how to pronounce it. So thank you for that suggestion. It was fun for me to go through and look for information on that sound or on that word. And do feel free to request, leave a comment with what you would like to hear about, whether it's a name, country name, or word, because I'll be back again every day with a new Word of the Day class. We also have our Friday live question and answer class where you can attend, type your questions in the chat, and get answers for pronunciation. I do often have the information, already know it, but I also will show you resources for where you can look up information, how you can use online dictionaries, how you can use my website, speechmodification.com, to help you with pronunciation. Thanks so much to those of you who have subscribed to the channel and joined as channel members. I really appreciate your support. I'll be back again tomorrow with another Word of the Day class and Friday with our live question and answer class. Thanks everyone, and hope to see you soon. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye everyone.